The head of the EP delegation, Tunne Kelam, asked Albania's political parties to cooperate in their common goal for EU integration, while positioning himself against the opposition over their withdrawal of mandates. Declarations issued by the European deputies who have visited Albania have sparked tensions with the SMI chair, accusing Kurimadi of blocking political unity. Prosecutor Antoneta Sevdari, who is also a candidate for the High Council of Prosecution, has been dismissed from duty after the decision by the appeal chamber. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, the 28th of February, 2019. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Oliver, and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country, translated into English. The head of the EP delegation, Tunne Kelam, today asked Albanian political parties to cooperate in achieving the common goal of European Union integration. According to Kelam, all the problems of democracy, the violation of democracy, and the cooperation between parties can be solved in the framework of the EU integration process. He said that it is important not to delay or to cause other delays in this process, stating, "We are interested in welcoming Albania into the EU, as many of you Albanians are interested as well. You have made progress in many areas, but much remains to be done. Our attention has turned to the reform on justice and to the vetting process. But the most important part is the implementation. For this purpose, and in order to be ready for the opening of negotiations, an internal cooperation is essential. The worst signal that Albania can give is one of a lack of political strategy for this objective. Political unity is required, and national consensus is important. The boycott of the parliament is a very bad signal. This undermines credibility. We do not agree that the boycott of parliament would be the right thing to do. We call on all political parties and civil society to unite with each other. They cannot find a claim to delay the objective due to the divisions related to the party interests. We are against the violent protests, but we are much more opposed to the incitement of violence by political parties themselves," said Kelam. After meeting with many representatives of civil society and youth organizations, Kelam said that their conclusion is that Albania needs a much more active civil society and that civil society organizations need to have access to and participation in lawmaking. According to Kelam, the future of Albania depends on its youth. The law on higher education means to give the youth an opportunity to not leave the country. Student voices must be heard by the government for education reform. At the end of the conference, Euro MP Kelam stated that despite sporadic cases of buying votes, the work should continue with the current government, as it would not be able to continue with a transitional government, as it is the majority that has emerged from the elections. Those who organize the protest must ensure that the protest is non-violent. It is impossible to say that this is my protest, my demonstration, and my people, but this is not the violence I exert. These are the words from Knut Fleckenstein, the current MEP for Albania in the European Parliament. Fleckenstein said that if the protest continues until June, it will have serious consequences for the discussions to be held at the European Council meeting. During the conference with journalists, MEP Knut Fleckenstein was critical of Monica Kurimadi, insinuating that she stands as the main obstacle in searching for a political solution. His statement brought an immediate response from SMI chair through a Facebook status to European MPs, making it clear that there is no turning back from this situation, stating, "Albania is the home of Albanians. This is our mission, no steps backwards." The vice chair of the Socialist Movement for Integration, Petrit Vasili, has also been a harsh critic of the MEPs from his headquarters. He said that the electoral crime and corruption perpetrated by the majority has already been made public, and despite this fact, the EP delegation continues to point their fingers at the opposition, stating, "Electoral crime of 20 million euros was only used to buy votes in Tirana. These facts are not the facts of the opposition. These facts are facts issued by the institutions in charge of investigations. These are the files of Edi Rama's corrupted government uncovered in the taping of the Italian anti-mafia. The new ring road is a scandal that has crossed Albania's borders. The entire world knows about the corruption in this project." He concluded by stating, "It is weird how the MEPs from European Parliament don't know this fact. Nevertheless, we will continue to clarify our views." After leaving the serious crimes prosecution, former Interior Minister Samir Tahiri said that there is now no doubt that the cases against him were politically motivated and will continue. After declining to comment on which political side is issuing the attacks, the former Interior Minister said he would continue to face justice without the fear of a possible arrest. Meanwhile, if there are any materials that can be used for blackmail, Tahiri gave this response: "I have only my truth, and that's enough for me." After being notified of the decision, Tahiri and his lawyer will have 10 days to make objections until the preliminary judge decides whether or not to send the case to a trial, given the evidence gathered from the indictment. Along with Tahiri, 3 former senior police officers will be sent to court, including former Vlora Police Director Yaled Chella, Gergi Kohila, and Soko Bode. When asked if he has the Prime Minister's support, Tahiri answered, "I do not need the support of anyone, but only my truth. If you think that someone in this country needs someone else's support, you are wrong. I can do it without these people paying every cost and every price." The appeal chamber has decided to dismiss prosecutor Antoneta Sefdari, who is also a member of the High Council of Prosecution, from duty. The trial panel of the appeal chamber read the decision according to which the dismissal of the prosecutor is due to an insufficient justification of financial resources and wealth owned by her husband. Sefdari passed the vetting process after positively being assessed on the 3 required criteria. However, the public commissioner appealed to the appeal chamber seeking the dismissal of Sefdari. During the process at the appeal chamber, the decision was postponed twice. And in the end, even though a request by the public commissioner was rejected, the appeal chamber decided to dismiss Sefdari from duty. This decision puts the High Council of Prosecution in a difficult position, which has already left them without a member. Reimbursable prescription prices will decrease about 5% starting March 1st, 2019. The decision was taken on Wednesday at the Council of Ministers. Health Minister Orgerta Manastirliu said that the number of citizens, whether or not they are insured, uninsured, disabled, or required economic assistance, will be increased and will be treated with free prescriptions under the new reimbursement scheme. The government's decision to index the prices of reimbursable prescriptions will have a budgetary effect of $7.5 million, which will be used to expand the list of free medicines. According to Manastirliu, thanks to the government policies for universal coverage, 498,000 citizens, including the uninsured, will receive reimbursable prescriptions free of charge. However, this decision was met with skepticism by many pharmacists who say they need more time to replace their stock. Manastirliu stated, "We save around $24 million a year on uninsured citizens who have been paying out of their pockets to be treated with prescriptions for chronic diseases." Manastirliu stressed that the benefits from the reimbursement scheme will be increased through new agreements, stating, "As we did for the 100% coverage on the treatments for breast cancer patients through special agreements, we will continue this year with a list for the 2019 prescriptions, which will provide a wider coverage for those with chronic illnesses." The decision was approved yesterday by the government, but to ensure the quality of services, all necessary measures will need to be taken to reflect the prices of the new prescriptions. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and have a great night.